That was great music.
Yeah. Rory Goff, welcome to Keating Interviews.
Thank you, Keatings. It's good to be here.
And greetings to everybody. It's starting up my shows again after about 10 years, and I wouldn't be doing it except he's got some good something to give and offer and share here. So, Wavical work. What is Wavical work?
Wavical work is, you can describe it any number of different ways, but put simply, it's making friends with your own thoughts and allowing them to come into harmony with you so that you can basically achieve whatever you need in this lifetime.
Making friends with my own thoughts,
yes,
so that I'm not getting in the way of what I'm thinking and I'm going
yes,
forward. Because my thinking blocks my life, my progress.
Yes.
And if my thinking is open and working, when I'm working with it properly, it'll be productive instead of counterproductive.
Yes, many times you have a conscious desire, but there are unconscious desires underneath that are operating contrary to the conscious one. So Wavical work kind of goes in, gives, most of the problem is when we're identifying with the thought so wholeheartedly that we think we're in a universe that's bigger than we are, that we have no control over, that basically it's a, basically kind of maybe an unfriendly place or something that's not us. And that's the sort of the fundamental kind of misread or misunderstanding that Wavical work starts to heal. And essentially, as far as we're concerned, it's all of our universe is coming out of our awareness. When you look at it, I mean, it seems very simple, but basically everything that is that we're aware of it by virtue of our awareness.
Okay.
So
my thoughts, how I think, can actually block,
yes,
my possible outlets of doing something else.
Yes.
I bind myself into this one choice because that's how I think about it.
Yes.
So the Wavical work allows a person to go beyond that limitation,
yes,
and realize that's okay if you want to have that limitation, but you can go to this, and it's like, all of a sudden I can see a bigger possibility.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Well put.
Okay.
Yes.
Then why don't we do a Wavical work example? How does it work? What will we do to see it work or show the people how it works?
Yeah, okay, so the main thing to do is to be as honest as possible with yourself. The key is to get as deep down what you most desire, what you most need. If you could have anything at all, in any of the universes at all, in any of the time, across all of space, all the time, what do you most want? Who would you most be? What would you most like to have or to do or to experience? So you want to get as deep down as possible. Okay, yeah.
I'm volunteering to do this one right here. So I'm going to tune in here and see what do I most want. Yes. And I'll tell you the truth, man. When you first mentioned this, I got two sides of my wants. Sometimes the positive wants to augment something I want and improve it, and sometimes to end something, to kill something.
Sure.
And so this first one, I'd like to just be done. I'm not de-exist. I want that one. Excellent. But then when you painted the possibility of having anything I wanted across the whole universe, the whole existence, I had to get bigger, and so I'm gonna go there.
The more true you can get, the more quick the results.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm explaining this more than necessary in a way, but we can't limit ourselves the way we have been as human mortals. We're more than that. We're divine. And we've got a lot of potentialities. We only use 10% of our potential or something like that. So to allow ourselves to even consider something bigger than planet Earth is fine. And I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
So if I could have anything I wanted, what would it be that I could have? And this thought already, I'm thinking in beyond the limitations. Like, I can have anything I wanted? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Can I trust that?
Sitting here, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, man. Okay, I got to make this good. It's like the genie with 3 wishes. I got to make it good.
But luckily you have more than 3.
More than 3.
You have as many as you need. I've been practicing now for 32 years, and it keeps going. There's always more. It's fun.
We'll show a little one here. I'll just do a little one, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then maybe a second one, because if you can see it, it makes more sense.
Yes.
But if I could have anything I wanted, I'm just going to be real common, man. I'd like to have myself and my family fulfilled, everybody happy and healthy and well.
Okay. So once we establish what that most burning desire is, or the deepest need is, we're still identifying with that thought as our thought. So the first step to do is to localize, make that thought smaller than we are, so that we can actually separate enough from it so we can actually get it fulfilled. We can actually serve as its creator. We are creating that thought, but normally we're so caught in it that we don't realize it. So we do that by localizing where it might be in the body. And this is the part that may take a little practice. Feel the body, take a few deep breaths, and see where the tension point is in the body or the sensation that might be associated with that thought.
Okay. Well, this I feel worry about my family and taking care of them, and that's in my guts.
Very good. Okay, so good. So now we've localized it. So already you've basically broken out of the full identification with it. You're bigger than it is. It's essentially a little being in your guts that's having this thought. So that's the first step. We become its witness.
Yeah. So my thinking is about taking care of my family and stuff, but it actually has an impact here in my guts. I'm carrying this concern energy here.
Yes. It's as if your head is doing the thinking.
To speak about it like this, all of a sudden I've broken it out of this thought.
Yes.
I'm bound in here, and I'm localizing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so at that point you've moved out of what we would call ignorance, or identifying completely with the thought, getting lost in the thought, to being its witness, essentially, to being its witness, to being the consciousness behind the thought, or the creator of the thought. So now you can be its parent, and we do this by essentially going into a new mode of parenting than what we've learned at our own parents' knees, and that is unconditional love. Unconditional love. So we just tell that one, hello, beloved one, something along this, whatever works for you. Hello, child, you are my beloved child, in whom my soul delights. Something along those lines. You just let it, I'm so happy you're here, Something like that.
So I'm letting this be the little child kind of thing, and I'm going to just talk to it and say, I love you, I'm going to take care of you. You don't have to be worried, this is my job, I'll be able to do it, but I want you to know you're covered, and I love you.
Yeah, our job is to basically create the feeling level that it most desires, and once it gets that, and all the objections are met, that manifests out into the world automatically. We're not really that concerned with the outer results, we're concerned with establishing the feeling level, which is kind of the tone. It's like when you're feeling upset, the whole world seems to be kind of, in a bad mood, and if things go wrong. When you're feeling happy, the whole world's bright and shiny, and same kind of deal. What we're going is we're establishing that tone so that everything will match that tone in the outer world, because what you're dealing with is your senses.
So what I'm doing is I'm shifting from this thought about taking care of my kids and so on, to just feeling where that is in my body, that tension. And then not dealing with a thought, but going to the feeling of feeling the love for the kids and the concern and the care. And we'll make it, we'll get by. And so when I get out of my head and get into the feelings, it already shifts from this isolated impossibility to, well, I can fulfill this level of what I want to feel.
Yeah, you can play the part of the unconditionally loving creator of that thought. Basically say, I love you infinitely. You are my beloved child. I am here to see you happy, because when you're not happy, I'm not happy. I'm sorry I made you suffer in the past, perhaps. I'm sorry I made you worry through old beliefs I was holding. But I'm here now, and I'm consciously here as your creator, and you name it. Whatever you want, I give you now. Unconditionally, no strings attached, forever and ever, until you want something different. So I give you infinite safety, infinite protection for you and your loved ones. I give you a world where your family is utterly content. And loving.
Hang on a second. You go ahead and keep doing those, and I just want these guys to know that what I'm going to do is, as he speaks these, I'm going to just take them in. I'm going to take them in and allow myself to feel what I was not feeling when I was stuck up here in my head. So go ahead, you can.
Okay, so let's say, hello, my beloved child. I love you so much. I love you unconditionally, just as you are. And this is crucial. You want to tell it, your worry is a part of my wholeness. I wouldn't even be whole without that worry that you are showing me. So thank you for showing it to me. And that's part of allowing it to just be what it is, unconditionally, what it wants to show you in this moment. We have to say that that is good, or that is okay, and be willing to sustain that, and then it will change. This is an old psychological principle. If you want to really meet a child and teach them to grow, you start where they are. You have to start out where they are and love them at that spot. And when that stage is loved, it's free to move forward.
So it's like, it's okay. If you're worried and concerned, that's okay.
Yes, I created that worry, and thank you for showing it to me so clearly. You have given me this flavor perfectly. Thank you. You've done perfectly. Absolutely perfect. And this is another thing. A lot of times these wavicles, I call them wavicles because they're basically thought waves or eye particles. They're any kind of emanation of our consciousness. And essentially they've been told they're spoiled kids, or they've been told they can't have this. Anything that our parents have told us along the lines of socialization, along those lines, they believe. And they're going to carry those until we shift them back into their true nature, which is they are essentially angels. They are essentially God made in divine image, made in the image of wholeness. They are divine. So they are angel, they are angelic, they're celestial. If they are nagging at us, they look maybe as if they're demonic or whatever, but the fact is that's just a flavor we refuse to allow. And that's what makes it painful. Because you're its God, you're pushing it away, it feels rejected, and then you feel like junk. Because whatever we give them, we feel. Whatever you do to the smallest of these, you do to me. You know, these are our children. Allow the little children to come to me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. So these are our children. This is what they were talking about in the Bible. You know, essentially, in my opinion, it's Wayvocal work. So allow the little children to come to me. You know, so welcome home.
You got a couple things in here. One is that the feelings of worry, concern, and tension, those are actually gifts.
Yes.
They're actually necessary.
Yes.
Because when I realize I'm worrying about something, it helps me to go to take care of it. When I'm concerned about something, that's a good signal to let me know I got something I want to do.
Yes.
So these things are actually good gifts.
Everyone.
Even the pain in my arm, it's like,
Yes.
okay, that pain, thank you for being there. You're telling me something's wrong.
Yes.
If I didn't have that pain there, something could be wrong, and all of a sudden there's a real big problem.
Exactly.
So the pain is really a gift.
Almost always a physical pain or physical discomfort is an emotional offering that we haven't accepted yet. You know, if we don't accept it on the emotional level, it concretizes into the physical. So that's why we're going in and saying, oh, whatever you're emotionally feeling is perfect. Welcome home.
So instead of blacking out, I don't want to feel like
Yes.
that. Go,
Right.
I feel like that.
Yes.
I feel like that.
Yes, and it's okay.
And it's okay, I feel like
Yes.
that.
We don't have to act it out. We don't suppress it. We don't have to act it out. We just allow it to be.
Allowed to be.
There are 3 stages of healing. The first is suppressing it and freezing it. We could call that tamas in terms of the 3 gunas, if you're into that whole thing.
Yeah.
The next one is, which is basically frozenness, you know, suppressing it. That's the first stage always. These are natural, they're okay. The next stage is when it starts to warm up into activity, and that's when you act it out. When you're angry, you actually lash out at somebody. It's better than suppressing it, but it doesn't really heal it. It actually just passes the pain on.
Yeah.
Third stage is just being aware of it, lovingly aware of it. That's what heals it. It is okay for me to feel it. In fact, the acting out is still an attempt not to feel it. You know, if I can get the other person to feel pain, then I'm not feeling it. You know, so I get to pass it on. That's the thought. It's not really true. But the fact is, if you just allow yourself to feel it, it turns from pain back into ecstasy or back into love and radiance. You know, there are only 3 qualities in creation. Those are love, radiance, and ecstasy. Those are the 3 fundamental qualities of creation, or basically matter, consciousness, and energy. Or love, light, and laughter. They're different ways of saying the same thing. There's Sat, Chit, Ananda, being, consciousness, bliss. Those are basically the 3 qualities of creation. It comes shooting out as energy, coming around as mass, going in again as consciousness, shooting out. It's kind of this giant donut shape.
Yeah. Hang on a second. That's getting pretty abstract here. So I want to bring it back to the ground. But
yeah, okay.
To one point you said that to feel the feeling I don't want to feel because it feels uncomfortable,
Yes.
that has value.
Yes, if you're approaching it from the Creator's point of view, if you're just wallowing in it, it doesn't work that well. So we want to back up a little bit and then just allow it to be part of us. Okay. And then if you get lost in it, it's okay, but the intent is to go in as a creator to allow this to be part of my wholeness.
I created this worry.
Yes. And then pushed it aside. Yeah.
This is subtle, it's big.
Yes.
Subtle and big.
Yeah.
If I'm just feeling the feeling of worry and concern, that's junky, that's no good, it's no, but
if we make it so.
But if I come from the Creator, I created this worry.
Yes, take responsibility
All
for
of a sudden it's different because I did create this worry.
Yes.
I'm worrying about this. Who created that? Did someone put a gun to my head and say, start worrying? No, I put it on. So when I step into that frame of reference, I created this worry. It's mine.
It's your child. Yes.
My little child.
My child.
Okay, that's much different than just wallowing in it.
Yes.
Okay, this is important because if people don't understand the difference between I created my worry or here I'm stuck with this worry.
Somebody did this to me.
They're 2 different things.
Yeah.
Somebody, I'm the victim here
versus
I created this.
Yes, it's very empowering.
Coming from the Creator, I can uncreate it or change it. Okay, I have control over it.
Once you
but if I'm the victim, I'm stuck with it.
Yeah, right.
So that's an important point here. Is that I have to recognize that I'm the creator of the worry and concern and all that stuff. And then from there,
you can recreate.
I can recreate.
Recreation.
And I can feel this too. You can't, maybe you can see it on camera. I can feel it. I can feel just the difference that it makes instead of, oh, I'm stuck with this, I'm the victim, darn, nothing works for me, everything's terrible. But I'm the one who's making myself worry.
Yes.
It's different, very subtle but good.
And again, that worry, we may not know why it's necessary for our wholeness, but it has to be because our wholeness is whole. We contain everything. That means every flavor, every note on the keyboard is ours. And if we're shoving someone aside, we're giving them the power to overshadow the rest of us when they come up. If we say, that's not God, or that's not whole, or that's not good, when it comes up, it's like, ah, we're lost. So if you allow it, just simply allow it to be, it stops being painful, it actually becomes another gift of ours, another flavor of ours. I always like to say, the suffering is not from the flavor, it's our rejection of it, it's our resistance to it. That's what causes the pain.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to resist this discomfort I'm feeling, that ain't gonna work.
No.
I have to recognize that I created that worry and concern, and right away I can just feel, it feels better, like, huh, I really did, okay? So it eases up right there,
Yeah.
and then go ahead and give me some of the little aphorisms you use,
Okay.
like, you're my creation,
Yes.
and this is not a faulty creation, this is,
it's perfect.
like you said, the creation has the full range.
Yes.
It's got destruction in it. It's
Yes.
got the rotten kind of stuff
Absolutely.
too, and it's got the
Absolutely.
beautiful, it's all there.
It's heartbreaking to acknowledge that we are all of it, but it's necessary.
Well,
You know,
when
it's,
a beautiful cherry blossom on the
Yeah.
cherry tree
Yeah.
starts to wilt and crumble,
Yeah.
it looks ugly and who wants it?
Right,
But
right.
what's right there now, the little cherry fruit is
Yes.
right there.
Yeah, the cycle continues.
Yeah, and that destruction had to take place
Yeah.
for the next level to go forward.
Every creation is based on destruction. Every destruction comes out of creation. Again, it's constantly going like this constant cycle. You have to destroy to create. So, and we're doing that trillions of times a second with our entire reality. So fast
Cool.
it seems like one smooth movie, but there are joins between them.
Cool. So come on back to me,
Yes.
because some people will do this with me here,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
holding
good.
our guts here.
Okay, so yes.
You're my little child, you're my
Yes.
creation, I created this feeling.
Yes.
Okay, I did it, and it's been working for me.
I welcome you home,
I
just as you are.
Yeah. I'm not trying to push you away, I'll welcome you
Yes.
home.
I'm sorry, I did push you away in the past. Welcome to paradise. Welcome to paradise on earth. Because this is our imagination, we can give it absolutely anything. You know, we can give it heaven on earth. We can give it complete fulfillment. You know, we can give it immortality. We can give it the realization it's never done a wrong thing in its life. It never could, because it's always done perfect action. We can always remind them that everything they have ever done has been perfect because it's given us experience. And that's all we've ever asked of it, is that these thoughts give us experience. We love playing out dramas, and they do it perfectly.
This is beautiful because I have a tendency to judge myself. I shouldn't have, been stupid.
Yeah.
I should have been stupid, that's a big one,
Yeah.
and done that. But this says, it's okay, there's no being stupid. We learn from everything,
Yes.
even if it doesn't seem to work the first time, we crash and burn.
Yes.
We can use that, so there's never really a mistake.
No, we are constantly making mistakes, or we're never making mistakes. Whichever way you look at it, it's all perfect.
From this point of view, it's just the life
Yes.
unfoldment process.
Yes, yeah.
But from this little right down isolated, oh, that was a mistake,
This
and
is
and
good,
that.
this is bad.
So
No,
we're
but-
actually looking from a bigger place
Yes,
here, okay?
yeah, the fact is, in truth, from this place, there is no good and there is no bad, there only is.
Okay.
There only is, and it's all, in a sense, perfect or part of the wholeness. And that's freaky, because people say, what about Auschwitz? You know, what about this or that? Yeah, it's hard to grasp that we actually are upholding all of it. But until we do, it's going to cause us suffering. And oddly enough, the more we reject it, the more we act it out unconsciously. So by actually accepting it consciously, it disempowers it from being a demon anymore, and it becomes our servant. It actually becomes our, there's no such thing as a demon. It's always an angel with a Halloween mask on. They're always a quality of ourselves that we actually benefit from when we acknowledge it, painful as it can be sometimes. I mean, I've had to wrestle with some of these wavicles for up to 2 or 3 years. When I'm acting as if it's very simple, very easy. It usually is. But if it's somebody, everything in your universe is a wavicle. Anybody in your universe who's causing you a problem, that's one of your wavicles, because it's part of your consciousness. The senses are telling us it's out there, it's not me. But the fact is, from the point of view of consciousness, it is you. That is something you're showing yourself by virtue of your own consciousness. And when you find it, localize where it is in this body that's being projected out there. Track it back, see where it is in the body, start to heal it, bring it back home, and I guarantee you the outer changes. You change what's projecting it from in here, the outer changes. I've seen it happen over and over. I've seen miracles happen, many, many times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how I'm reacting to something is really making its impact on me more, or really, versus what's happening. That may be happening and so on, but how I
Yes, the story
how
you
I
tell.
create an impact on myself.
Yes, yeah.
That pertains to me.
Yeah.
I could either take it or leave it. No matter what it is, I could just be neutral. But if I choose to get worried or concerned or upset or hatred or whatever,
Then you're spinning the
that's
story
my
around it.
choice.
Yes, your story.
I'm
Yes,
creating.
Yes.
That's
That's good. Love
so like you say, if I work on myself, my own inner response to whatever that is, that's already going to change because it's neutral anyway.
Yes.
Except what I assign to it.
What the story you're assigning to it, exactly. And there's often people will object, well, if I take care of this, then I won't get work done out there. And we don't find that to be true. That's the belief is you have to act out of pain in order to accomplish anything, but you don't. when you actually do the work inside, establish that feeling level of fullness and love and contentment, the action continues, and now it's much more powerful because you're coming out of love rather than out of hatred or out of separation or out of fear, and that love is universal. I mean, that's how the miracles happen. When you're working on that level of unconditional love, every particle in the universe is tied in with you. I mean, it's like, that's how the universe operates. It's out of a quantum level of unity. I mean, it's unfathomable, and it's incredibly miraculous.
Okay, then to go here, where you're talking about coming from this place of love, I have to get real big.
Big enough to not identify with it.
Compared to this small, petty, you know, projection of my thought. This is the problem.
Just back up a little, localize where it is in the body. Again, this is an interesting point. You don't have to feel the love before you tell it that you love it. It's a willingness to love. These are our senses that we're dealing with, and they will feel it when you tell them, I love you unconditionally. Okay. They will feel the love, and then you will feel it through them. Okay. Whatever you give to the smallest of them, you give to yourself, and that's how we experience anything, by how we're dealing with our thoughts.
So this stuck place in my guts. If I treat it like a little kid that just got to pick them up and hold them and just, okay.
Your stuckness is also a part of my wholeness. You know, your stuckness is a part of my wholeness. Let it know that. Whatever you're feeling is okay. I wouldn't be whole without that stuckness.
Okay.
You know?
So all of this, I'm just going to be like a big father or mother. Just love the kid.
Yeah.
It's all right. You know, hold the space for him. And all of a sudden, I'm changing.
Yeah, it's changing.
The little one's still gone through that hurt, but I don't identify with the hurt. I just pick him up, set him on my lap, turn on the love.
Yes.
And I'm okay then. I'm feeling love, not to worry and get, you know, whatever happened. And the kids starting to tune in better.
Yes. Yeah. Love is the universal currency. You want to deal with any wavicle in creation, operate through love, and that's what gets their attention.
Okay.
You'll see this through all the mythologies across time and space. You know, basically. In Hinduism, a lot of times you'll see various demons or various angels doing penance in order to get the attention of the big god. And that when they finally do get and penance meaning they will actually do some sort of suffering in order to get that attention. And after whatever, thousands of years or whatever, they finally get the attention of the big god, and God comes and says, you are my child. You know, I love you, name it, whatever you want is yours. Well, that's what we're talking about. That's wavicle work. All these things that are called myths are actually descriptions of a psychological process that you can do. You know, as we pointed out already, it's in Christianity. You know, how you treat the little children is how you treat me. Let the little ones come home to me. All that. So you find it in Christianity, you find it in Buddhism, you find it in Hinduism, you find it in ancient Egyptian. I mean, it's like it's all across time. It's just that we've forgotten the science, perhaps, and so we saw that as a myth only and not as a description of how we actually can heal ourselves in our creation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Let's go back to me on this thing and how I would just walk myself out of this stuck place a little more.
So first, love the stuckness. Okay. You know, you're stuck. You know, your stuckness is a part of my wholeness. I love you just the way you are. Thank you for showing me this so beautifully. I would not be whole without your stuckness. You've done a perfect job. Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I made you hurt, you know, as I did, because I'm new to this God business. I'm new to being the creator, but I'm here now. And now if you like, we can structure new rules where you have infinite freedom, you know, infinite freedom and infinite right action, infinite joy, infinite bliss. You can be infinitely youthful. This one may be stuck because he was told he had to grow up.
Yeah, this is the worry and concern that I was talking about as a parent, worrying about my kids and stuff.
Right.
I'm just applying those things to it.
Yeah.
It feels better.
Yeah, and so if it's worry about other people, we now give you automatic sustenance of everyone in your creation. Just your being here is feeding them and giving them love and giving them light and letting them thrive. You know, so again, this is just, the three-dimensional rules don't apply on this level. Yeah. You can give it absolutely anything.
Yeah, and this is important because if I'm sitting here, like nobody's around, how am I influencing them? What benefit? I'm not touching them or seeing them or nothing. But I'm feeling more loving regard toward them. And the thing is, feeling loving regard is like light. It just radiates. Love radiates.
It does.
So they don't have to be here in the same room or something. I can just think of somebody, feel some love for them. It goes. It works. Yeah. Prayer works the same way. It's a good tool. So anyway, what he's saying is working. I'm feeling better and more loving for myself. And I know that what he said about other people is also helping them. So go ahead, man.
Absolutely. As far as you're concerned, everyone's already in your consciousness. And so you are the administrator of your universe. And that means everyone in it. So anybody who's coming to you that you are that's causing some pain, they're trying to get your attention. All they want is your love. And when you can give them unconditional love, that, as you said, love actually converts into light. and then they actually start to lighten up. If you're subtly attuned, you can see the light going into that area, and then it moves into laughter. Love, light, laughter. Love, light, laughter.
I'm not laughing for that reason, though, man. The reason is I want to pop them. I want to, But you're saying if I can think of somebody I don't like and I want to just whack them, and I can feel some love for them, or intend to feel some love for them.
It.
If that's good enough.
I intend to love you. Yes.
Okay.
And if you have this is another good point. If you can't back up enough to play the role of the unconditional loving creator, act as an intermediary and let the ever-loving creator come through you to love them. That works just as well.
Okay.
Whatever.
The way I would do this is Jesus, I don't like that guy.
Yes.
Would you love him for me? That's the closest.
Yes.
That's the best.
Please
that's
love him through me for me.
And I'll hold that space.
Yeah, that'll work.
And that'll help me untangle and untwist my worry and concern.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
We're down to the last 3 minutes or so here.
That was quick.
Yeah, so I want to make sure
Too
we
much
get
fun.
any extra point or final point.
So final point is give it whatever it needs and then see how it feels. Get some feedback on it. How's the gut feeling? And ask also if there are any objectors. Is there anybody in here who objects to this? Because this is where we want to unwind the unconscious programming underneath this one that are keeping the status quo. If we don't change them too and bring them on board.
So something I'm blocking it with, maybe I'm feeling it, then I put a block in there.
But if we get that, we're going to lose this.
Yeah.
So those two. So then we want to take them into account also, just repeat the process with them, and it may be 1 or 2, maybe 3, or whatever. And when they're all done, when your whole body is saying yes, then it's done. And your body will tell you. Your body has this wisdom in it. It'll let you know whether there's more work to be done or not.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Rory Goff, thank you.
It's fun stuff.
I'll go over and push the button on the camera in a minute. Do you have a website or a phone number you want?
Yeah, sure. RoryGoff.com. That's RoryGoff.com. Has a lot of this material, and there's a phone number on there that you can call if you want to learn more, or schedule a session or whatever. I am holding classes in this on a pretty regular basis, and I'll be happy to start holding more if there's a need for it. It's a lot of
I'll
fun.
write that down too for him and hold it up to the camera. We got a minute, I think. So it's Rory Goff, GOFF.com?
Yes.
All right.
And there's a phone number on there that you can call.
You want to give that too?
Let's see, what is it? 641
Okay.
919
919
7423.
7423.
Yeah. And many thanks. It was a great pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was fun. I'll go set this up in front here. And thank you.